Good afternoon. Continuing the Inspiramais programming with the consultants of the Research and Design Nucleus, we invite the curator of Conexão, Criativa, and Comercial, Flávia Valeri, for the presentation of the Interactive Business Ecosystem for Impact. Inspiramais has the sponsorship of Cicatex, Altero, Basf, Bertex, Branil, Brisa, Carmelizon, Camaleoa, Colorgraph, Endutex Brasil, FCC, Grupo Cofrag, Grupo Stigfran, JR Soluções, Leather Labs, ATB, Soares, and York. Organized by Brazil, Tex Brazil, Brazilian Leather, and Brazilian Furniture. In partnership with Sebrae and promoted by Asintecal, Abiti, CCB, Abimóvel, and Apex Brasil. Let us now watch the video of our partner Sebrae Nacional and the master sponsor of Inspiramais, Cicatex. And then, Flávia, you've got the floor. Day or night, science or humanities, city or the field. Making choices means conquering one of the greatest desires of humanity, independence. And Sebrae believes that being an entrepreneur is a doorway to independence. It's open to people of all ages, genders, and to seek more options for their lives. For Sebrae, just as important as encouraging business is supporting people that transform dreams into life projects. They help us generate jobs, develop their community, and transmit an entrepreneurial culture in Brazil, a place where we all have freedom to choose, even the choice to be an entrepreneur. Sebrae, the strength of Brazilian entrepreneur. Time. Everything changes. Everything transforms. It even changes the way we see time. The more goes by, the more valuable it becomes. The more we respect it and the more we understand it. And from its hands, we receive the most valuable present that life gives us, experience. And it's what reveals to us the greatest secret of all, that time, in fact, is not the division between past, present, and future, but the sum of these three elements, with a result which is eternity of art, of feeling, and of the soul. It's becoming atemporal that our fashion is inspired to translate this beauty that lives forever. Come discover it at Inspiramais 2022. Hi, how are you? My name is Flávia. I'm a designer with a focus on innovation, sustainability, and value chains. I'm also in front of a company that applies these concepts in practice, Rato Roy, which transforms waste into products with high value added. I'm also leading a startup called Moda Ser, which works with circular design, transforming and bringing possibilities to the market. I'm also the curator of this wonderful project, Inspiramais, called Conexão, Criativa e Comercial, Creative and Commercial Connections, which I will tell you a bit about more today. I'm going to share my screen so you can learn about the values of this project and the participants in this edition. Let's go! The Creative and Commercial Connection is in its 7th edition, and I'm very happy that I put sustainability in my life in front of all the projects that I participate in. Creative Connection encourages associations, startups, cooperatives, and designers develop sustainable solutions with a positive impact in fashion and design. We know that we've reached a point in time where we can't run away. We have a huge challenge ahead of us. We need to reconcile our human life and everything we've built with the life of the planet. We know this is urgent and that this is a crucial time, and that projects such as these are microsystems which connect with others and grow even further. They're very important, and they need to be spread more and more and supported. That's why we want to thank a Sintecal, Inspiramais, and Sebrae Nacional, which allow this project to be constant, and that we can increasingly reach new audiences and grow even more. We've addressed primarily these 5 keys to our project: gender equality. The majority of these projects are run by women. We work with economic growth, with social impact, environmental impact, cities with sustainable communities, responsible production and consumption. Several of the businesses really think about the reduction in waste generation, encouraging innovation and research and development, and also global action against climate change. We say that it's not just a project anymore, it's a movement of companies towards favoring sustainability. Today I want to share some companies that are part of this ecosystem. As I said, we're already in the 7th edition, and increasingly we've been gathering our network, and it's been very rewarding to see the growth, to see the commercial approximation that all of them are having within Inspiramais. One is Eu Mostro. Eu Mostro is the first transparency platform. It's ESG in Brazil. ESG is the concern with the positive impact. It talks about environment, social, and governance spheres. And we know that the impact has become a criteria that's also used for investments, and that shows that this company is ready and ahead of the global trends for sustainability. This digital platform helps us register and show the end consumer, using blockchain technology, our entire production chain, and to show this transformation all the way to the end consumer. This platform does this in a way that's organized and safe. It was developed by a startup that's in Florianópolis in the state of Santa Catarina, and there, Conexão Criativa adds a bit more to how companies can adhere to this technology on a daily basis in their business. Another company that's with us in another edition of Creative and Commercial Connection is Comas. Comas works with redesign. It's really incredible when you start to think about the end. Most products, most packaging in fashion and design aren't thought of in a way that it can be disassembled and then transformed and placed into the cycle again. This is Comas's work. They transform inactive inventories of clothes and textile waste through their own technology. The company is leading courses for innovation and redesign. They work with companies, bringing this revaluation and also creating a large network of cooperatives, especially sewing cooperatives, so that they can have impact and scale. Another company that we'd like to share is Contextura, which is also part of our project. They work primarily with the creation of textures and textiles using unheralded materials. They use lots of waste to create these fabulous and incredible textures. And they are certainly great partners, both in terms of creativity and innovation and sustainability. Another company that's been with us for several editions is Da Tribo. They talk about their place in the Amazon and brings rubberized yarn and fabrics from the Amazon. These are two products, the yarn, which are these ecological yarns and rubberized fabrics. This fabric has this technology as well from the forest. It's super interesting. They're always adding innovation in color and texture. It's really interesting to see how Da Tribo has grown through their participation in Inspiramais. Da Terra is with us for the first time in Creative and Commercial Connection. It's located in Riacho das Almas in Pernambuco, which is a region that is the same region as Toritama, and cities where there's large production of jeans in the northeast of Brazil. And when you have lots of waste from these jeans and from textile waste, so they resignify these wastes, transforming them in new fabrics, looking for new patterns, new possibilities for transformation based on the excess of where they live. This is very interesting because at Inspiramais, they bring these fabrics also thinking about color and bringing other possibilities also within the future-proof chart of Inspiramais. Tramô is in Bombinhas, Santa Catarina, which is the state where I live. It also is a brand that talks primarily about haberdashery, it's craft haberdashery with quality, generating jobs and income where they're located, employing women that have these manual abilities to develop these items, which are enchanting. I really recommend it for you to go into Creative and Commercial Connection and look at all the products that Tramô brought that are special for this edition, really based on the quantum topic, which talks about the essence of the materials, the stones, the minerals. It's really worth getting to know. Another company that's with us that arrived recently is Mães que Florescem, Mothers Who Bloom. It's an association of women. They're handmade products using upcycling from industry waste. It's in Franca, São Paulo, and they're made primarily by women and mothers who are in a vulnerable social situation. These products are made in a really creative manner using embroidery, crochet, stamping, and they can be partners with lots of innovation and creativity for the projects of fashion and design. Another company that's with us is Justa Trama. They're a company that works with ecological cotton, and they develop fabrics for the market, such as heavy knit, single jersey, tricoline. And in Creative Connection, we show a bit more. They also have a stand at Inspiramais. It's worth going by and learning more about this project, which hires people in a fair and ethical manner to develop all they do, and which also outsources confection and printing services. It's really worth getting to know and to talk to them about this initiative. Another company that is part of the Creative and Commercial Connection is Misnella Design. Misnella works with the reuse of materials based on creativity, using various materials, sustainable materials that are already finished, as well as waste from the creation of possibilities for the market, whether end products or components such as parts for bags or various possibilities, which can be very interesting for a collaboration. Another company that has enchanted us at every edition is Serradouro, which now returns and looks at their ancestrality and brings us this ear adornment, which they call spiritual strength. It's inspired by a Krenak language. It's a product built with natural residue from the Cerrado region of Minas Gerais. It has natural elements such as twigs and flowers and leaves, confections of beautiful material, which can be adornments or haberdashery. And in this case, it's such a beautiful part. It connects with our feelings and integration with nature, inspired by the strength and resilience of the native peoples of Brazilians. They're in Lagoa Santa, Minas Gerais, and they're with us here at Creative and Commercial Connections. We also have Rita Prossi with us, who lead an initiative called Seja Amazônia. They work with natural fibers, seeds, leathers, metals, and biomaterials from the location where they're located, which is Manaus in the Amazon. They make materials, haberdashery, adornments, inspired on fauna and flora, and the myths and legends, and the iconography of the Amazon. They work with sustainable processes that benefit the entire production chain, which starts with indigenous communities of the Rio Negro area, all the way from distribution with packaging made by hand, the seeds, the straws, the stones, which gain life with iconic design and technology. It's very beautiful to see their work, and it's really within what we've been talking about the logic of future-proof innovation. When we talk about ancestrality, this new language which enchants us so much as products. We also have tilapia leather, which works with tilapia leather that's been vegetabilized. It's a subproduct or a byproduct of the food industry, and it's finished with tilapia leather using vegetable tanning. It's a work that's done by Amanda, who is a zoologist, who does this all with a lot of care and respect for nature. And they're located in Andradina, São Paulo, and they do beautiful finishing such as this, which make this hide hyper-visual by placing this golden finishing. And when you move this hide, it will provide a unique color, a unique shine for a presentation on digital screens. Lu Raimundo is also a very recent addition to our project. She's from Novo Hamburgo in Rio Grande do Sul, and she looks to what is left over in industry and exercises her language and her creativity from this. She can develop components and adornments or jewelry, which is super interesting, mixing ceramics and metal. It's really worth getting to know. The waste is the purpose of her work, and more than a product that she's offering the market, it's a service. To look at this waste, to look at these industrial exceeding material and provide solutions to this return to the cycle and be re-signified to society. Luciano Pinheiro and Flor Silva work with fabrics, haberdashery, and adornments with natural fibers, seeds, stones, wood, and natural dyes. And it's interesting because Luciano lives in São Paulo, Flor Silva lives in Manaus, in the Amazon, and they've been with us since the first edition of Creative and Commercial Connection, and in the 7th edition, they returned together, developing all their creative capacity and combining this and possibilities for haberdashery with low impact that are craft made, both for bags or shoes. So it's really worth it to enter Creative and Commercial Connection to see everything that they brought using these materials that are natural to us. Van Loureiro also did a partnership with Atelier Zanza, and both of them work reinterpreting waste and transforming it into new material and new components and new products for the market. Van is a specialist in plastic recycling. So this item that we see in the photo that's a cast. It's made from PET plastic. It's really interesting because it looks like metal the way it's worked. And Zanza works with embroidery and macramé on top of what Van makes, valuing what Van makes. So through this partnership, they are bringing components and haberdasheries that are super unique to Inspiramais. So go by there and get to know them as well. The Banco de Tecido is an original initiative dedicated to the circulation of textiles and textile materials for reuse. More than a fabric bank, it's a bank of materials. I showed this photo. They don't just have fabric, they have zippers, they have buttons, and other haberdashery. It's very interesting because if I'm a company and I have leftovers in my inventory, I can generate credit in this bank and get other material that makes sense for me at that time that are there in the bank. It creates this exchange system, and it's a very innovative solution that's very important for us to be able to establish a more circular and responsible economy. In general, these companies talk about transparency, the origin of their products. They especially talk about substituting the unsustainable inputs for natural products or residual products that can have value added and retransformed, thus creating another cycle. We see that the consumer is more and more interested in knowing where the material comes from, where their product is from. They also are requiring more and more what they can do with that product at the end of its useful life. If they can recombine it, if they can update it, if they can give a second life to it. So that's very important. It's important for us to connect to these businesses that can bring pilot solutions which can be implemented and can grow as they have success. So I'd like to invite you to go by the Creative and Commercial Connections stand and learn more about these businesses. Enter the individual stands. I'll be there as well in a committee room for those who want to talk to me personally and learn a bit more about each story that's behind this movement, which is so beautiful that we're creating here in Brazil, which is this special project of the Creative and Commercial Connections. Thank you very much.